Chaos magic. Chaos magic is a modern form of occult practice that emerged in the late 20th century. Rooted in the principles of individualism and pragmatism, it diverges from traditional magical systems that often require strict adherence to established rituals and belief structures. Instead, chaos magic encourages practitioners to create their own methods and symbols, drawing from a wide range of influences to achieve their desired outcomes. The origins of chaos magic can be traced back to the 1970s in the United Kingdom. At its core, chaos magic is based on the concept that belief itself is a tool that can be manipulated to achieve magical results. Practitioners, often called chaos magicians or chaotes, believe that by altering their beliefs and using them temporarily, they can tap into the underlying chaos of the universe to manifest changes in reality. This approach allows for a high degree of experimentation and personalization, as there is no fixed dogma or pantheon to adhere to. Some common techniques include sigillization, where a practitioner creates a symbol representing their desire and then charges it with energy through meditation or ritual. Another method involves the use of altered states of consciousness, such as those induced by meditation, drugs, or intense physical activity, to facilitate magical work. Chaos magicians might also adopt and discard various belief systems as needed, seeing them as interchangeable tools rather than fixed truths. Gnosticism. Gnosticism is a diverse and complex religious movement that emerged in the early centuries of the Common Era, primarily during the first few centuries following the life of Jesus Christ. It encompasses a variety of beliefs and practices, all centered around the pursuit of gnosis, or direct, experiential knowledge of the divine. Elements of Gnostic thought can be found in pre-Christian Jewish mysticism, Hellenistic philosophy, and various Eastern religions. Its rise is often associated with the early Christian era, roughly from the 1st to the 3rd centuries EE, when it flourished alongside the nascent Christian church. At its core, Gnosticism is based on the idea that the material world is inherently flawed or even evil, created by a lesser deity known as the demiurge. This contrasts sharply with the higher, true God who is entirely transcendent and beyond the material realm. According to Gnostic belief, human beings contain a divine spark trapped within their physical bodies. Salvation, therefore, involves awakening this divine spark through gnosis, an intimate and esoteric knowledge of the divine mysteries, which liberates the soul from the material world and reunites it with the true God. Examples of Gnostic beliefs and practices are found in various texts and sects. The Nag Hammadi Library, discovered in Egypt in 1945, is a collection of Gnostic writings that has provided profound insights into their doctrines. These texts, such as the Gospel of Thomas and the Gospel of Philip, offer alternative interpretations of Christian teachings, emphasizing personal spiritual knowledge over orthodox dogma. Gnosticism also produced a variety of sects, each with its unique interpretations and rituals. The Sethians and Valentinians were two prominent Gnostic groups. The Sethians focused on esoteric rituals and mythological narratives involving figures like Seth, the third son of Adam and Eve. Valentinians, founded by the teacher Valentinus, integrated more closely with early Christianity, offering a sophisticated theological system that included elaborate cosmologies and sacramental practices designed to impart gnosis. Despite its suppression by Orthodox Christian authorities, Gnosticism has left a lasting legacy. Many of its texts were deemed heretical and destroyed, but its ideas survived and influenced later mystical and esoteric traditions. Hermeticism. Hermeticism is a spiritual, philosophical, and esoteric tradition that traces its origins to the writings attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, a mythical figure said to be a combination of the Greek god Hermes and the Egyptian god Thoth. This tradition has profoundly influenced Western thought, especially during the Renaissance and the revival of interest in ancient wisdom. The roots of Hermeticism lie in the syncretic blend of Greek, Egyptian, and Near Eastern cultures in the early centuries of the Common Era, particularly during the Hellenistic period. The texts attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, known as the Hermetica, were written between the 1st and 3rd centuries EE. These writings cover a wide range of topics, including philosophy, astrology, alchemy, and theology. At its core, Hermeticism is based on the belief in a single, transcendent God who is the source of all creation. This divine source is both immanent and transcendent, existing within the material world while also surpassing it. Central to Hermetic thought is the idea of a correspondence between the macrocosm, the universe, and the microcosm, the individual human being, encapsulated in the famous Hermetic axiom, as above, so below. Hermeticism also emphasizes the pursuit of gnosis, or direct knowledge of the divine. This knowledge is not merely intellectual but experiential, attained through spiritual practices and inner transformation. Key concepts include the idea of the divine mind nous, the unity of all existence, and the transformative power of alchemy, not just as a physical process, but as a metaphor for spiritual purification and enlightenment. Examples of Hermetic practice are varied and often deeply symbolic. Hermeticists engage in rituals, meditations, and the study of sacred texts to align themselves with the divine order. One notable historical example is the Renaissance philosopher Marsilio Ficino, who translated the Hermetic texts into Latin and integrated their teachings into the broader intellectual revival of that period. Ficino and his contemporaries saw Hermeticism as a link to ancient wisdom, harmonizing it with Christian and Platonic thought. To this day, Hermeticism continues to inspire and influence various spiritual and esoteric traditions. Modern practitioners might belong to organizations like the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, which emerged in the late 19th century and played a pivotal role in the Western occult revival. These groups practice rituals and study Hermetic principles, seeking personal and spiritual growth through the wisdom of Hermes Trismegistus. Astral projection. Astral projection is a fascinating phenomenon in which a person's consciousness is believed to leave the physical body and travel independently through a realm known as the astral plane. This out-of-body experience has captivated human imagination and spiritual exploration for centuries, blending mysticism, metaphysics, and personal discovery. The concept of astral projection has ancient roots, with references found in various cultures and religious traditions. Ancient Egyptians spoke of the Ka, a spiritual double that could move outside the body. In Hinduism, scriptures describe the Sukshma Sharira, or subtle body, which can journey beyond the physical form. Indigenous shamans across the world have also engaged in practices that could be seen as forms of astral travel. In the modern Western context, astral projection gained prominence in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, particularly through the works of Theosophists like Helena Blavatsky and later esoteric writers. These thinkers integrated ancient beliefs with contemporary spiritual and philosophical ideas, popularizing the concept within the broader New Age movement. The basic concept of astral projection centers around the idea that humans possess not just a physical body, but also a subtle or astral body that can separate from the physical form and travel independently. This astral body is connected to the physical body by a silver cord which ensures the traveler can return safely. During astral projection, the consciousness shifts from the physical to the astral body, allowing experiences in different planes of existence. Many practitioners use meditation, visualization, or specific breathing techniques to induce an out-of-body experience. For instance, someone might lie down in a quiet place, focus on relaxing each part of their body, and then visualize their astral body slowly rising and floating away. Others might use more ritualistic methods, such as chanting or the use of crystals, to facilitate the experience. Reports of astral projection experiences vary widely. Some people describe floating above their own bodies, seeing themselves from an outside perspective. Others recount traveling to distant places, meeting spiritual beings, or exploring fantastical landscapes on the astral plane. While these experiences can be profoundly transformative, skeptics argue that they may be a form of lucid dreaming or a psychological phenomenon, rather than a literal departure from the body. Despite scientific skepticism, astral projection continues to be a topic of interest and practice in contemporary spirituality. Many New Age and esoteric traditions incorporate astral travel into their teachings, viewing it as a tool for spiritual growth, self-discovery, and healing. Hypnosis. Hypnosis is a trance-like state of focused attention and heightened suggestibility, often accompanied by deep relaxation. It's a technique that has fascinated people for centuries, bridging the gap between science and mysticism. The origins of hypnosis can be traced back to ancient times. References to trance-like states are found in the practices of ancient Egyptian sleep temples, where priests would induce a state of deep relaxation to promote healing. Similarly, ancient Greek oracles and Hindu yogis used techniques resembling hypnosis to achieve altered states of consciousness. However, the modern understanding of hypnosis began to take shape in the 18th century with the work of Franz Mesmer, an Austrian physician. Mesmer believed in the concept of animal magnetism, a natural force that could be harnessed to heal. His methods, though not scientifically sound, laid the groundwork for future exploration into the phenomenon. The term mesmerism, derived from his name, is still sometimes used to describe hypnotic practices. In the 19th century, Scottish surgeon James Braid advanced the study of hypnosis by debunking Mesmer's theories and proposing that hypnosis was a psychological state rather than a mystical one. He coined the term hypnosis, deriving it from the Greek word hypnos, meaning sleep, although he later regretted this choice as hypnosis is not actually akin to sleep. During hypnosis, an individual is guided by a hypnotist into this state, where they become more open to suggestions. This can lead to changes in perception, memory, and behavior. It's important to note that despite popular myths, a person under hypnosis retains control and cannot be made to act against their will. Examples of hypnosis in practice are diverse. Clinical hypnosis is used in psychotherapy to help patients manage pain, reduce stress, overcome phobias, and change harmful habits like smoking. For instance, a hypnotherapist might help a patient visualize a state of calm to alleviate anxiety or use positive suggestions to boost self-confidence. Stage hypnosis, on the other hand, is performed for entertainment purposes. Here, a hypnotist might invite volunteers from the audience to experience humorous or astonishing scenarios while under hypnosis. While these shows can be entertaining, they often perpetuate misconceptions about the nature of hypnosis. Hypnosis remains a valuable tool in contemporary therapy and medicine. It is used to complement conventional treatments for conditions such as chronic pain, irritable bowel syndrome, and PTSD. Hypnotherapy is recognized by medical associations and is often integrated into treatment plans to enhance overall well-being. Paganism. Paganism is a broad term that encompasses various spiritual and religious traditions rooted in the worship of nature and polytheism. It dates back to ancient times, long before the advent of the major monotheistic religions, and includes diverse practices and beliefs. Historically, paganism is associated with the pre-Christian religions of Europe. Ancient Greeks, Romans, Celts, and Norse people, among others, practiced forms of paganism. These religions involved the worship of multiple deities, each associated with different aspects of life and nature, such as the sky, earth, water, and fertility. Examples of pagan practices include celebrating seasonal festivals like the solstices and equinoxes, performing rituals to honor deities, and using divination tools like tarot cards and runes. Modern pagans, often referred to as neo-pagans, continue these traditions. Wicca, a contemporary form of paganism founded in the mid-20th century by Gerald Gardner, is one of the most well-known neo-pagan paths. Today, paganism is experiencing a revival, with individuals and communities worldwide embracing its practices. Alchemy. Alchemy is an ancient practice that combines elements of science, philosophy, and mysticism. Its origins can be traced back to ancient Egypt, India, and China, with the earliest records appearing around 300 BCE. The practice later spread to the Islamic world and medieval Europe, evolving significantly over the centuries. At its core, alchemy is based on the belief that the universe is composed of four basic elements: earth, water, air, and fire. Alchemists sought to understand and manipulate these elements to achieve two main goals: the transmutation of base metals into noble metals, such as turning lead into gold, and the creation of the Philosopher's Stone, a substance believed to grant immortality and perfect health. Examples of alchemical practice include the creation of elixirs and potions, the study of the properties of metals and minerals, and the development of complex laboratory techniques. Alchemists like Paracelsus and Isaac Newton made significant contributions to both alchemy and early modern science. Paracelsus, for instance, used alchemical principles to advance medical treatments, while Newton's work in alchemy influenced his discoveries in physics and mathematics. Theosophy. Theosophy is a spiritual movement founded in 1875 by Helena Petrovna Blavatsky, Henry Steele Olcott, and William Quan Judge. It blends Eastern and Western religious philosophies to uncover deeper truths about existence and promote universal brotherhood. Originating in the late 19th century, Theosophy draws from Hinduism, Buddhism, Neoplatonism, and esoteric traditions. Blavatsky's works, like Isis Unveiled and The Secret Doctrine, are foundational texts. The core principles of Theosophy are unity of all life, ancient wisdom tradition, a universal wisdom underlying all religions, accessible through spiritual insight, spiritual evolution and reincarnation,